In the heart of a quiet, unsuspecting town nestled between dark forests and misty hills, a malevolent presence lurked in the shadows. The townsfolk had always spoken in hushed tones about the chilling whispers that floated on the night air. Tales of an enigmatic figure whose very existence seemed to seep into the town's collective nightmares. This figure, a man known only as the Whisperer, had a chilling purpose: to kill, to satisfy a primal, insatiable hunger within. It all began with the mysterious disappearance of Emily Harlow, a bright and beloved high school teacher. Emily had been the heart and soul of the community, always offering a kind word or a helping hand. When she vanished without a trace, the town was plunged into a state of shock and fear. The police conducted searches, and the townsfolk organized vigils, but hope quickly gave way to dread as weeks passed with no sign of her. One stormy night, Sheriff Mark Collins received an anonymous tip. A trembling voice on the other end of the line whispered about a hidden cabin deep within the woods, a place where evil thrived. Desperate for answers, Sheriff Collins gathered a small team and ventured into the forest. As they trudged through the dense undergrowth, the air grew colder, and the darkness seemed to press in around them. They found the cabin, its walls covered in cryptic symbols and disturbing images. Inside, they discovered a chilling scene, a makeshift altar adorned with personal items belonging to Emily and several other missing persons. The realization hit them like a sledgehammer: they were dealing with a serial killer, one who took trophies from his victims. Deeper investigation led to the uncovering of the Whisperer's true lair, hidden beneath the cabin. The underground chamber was a twisted labyrinth of horror, filled with instruments of torture and blood-stained walls. It was a macabre museum dedicated to the suffering of his victims. Each room told a story of unimaginable pain and terror, and the air was thick with the lingering presence of those who had met their end there. The Whisperer had meticulously planned his every move, and his lair was a testament to his deranged mind. He took pleasure in the chase, the capture, and the final, gruesome act. The town's worst fears had been realized: a predator lived among them, one who thrived on their fear and misery. The discovery of the lair set off a frantic manhunt. Sheriff Collins, determined to bring the monster to justice, rallied his deputies and the townsfolk. They combed through every inch of the town and the surrounding forests, but the Whisperer was always one step ahead. He reveled in the chaos he had created, watching from the shadows as the town unraveled. One by one, more people vanished. The Whisperer left taunting messages at each crime scene, daring the authorities to catch him. The town was gripped by a sense of paranoia and helplessness, every rustle of leaves and creak of floorboards a potential harbinger of doom. Sheriff Collins knew they had to confront the Whisperer on his own terms. He devised a plan to lure the killer out, using himself as bait. It was a risky gamble, but the town's survival depended on it. As night fell, Collins waited alone in the darkened woods, his senses heightened and his heart pounding. Hours passed, and the forest seemed to hold its breath. Then, a whisper, a faint, sinister voice, cut through the silence. The Whisperer emerged, a figure cloaked in darkness, his eyes gleaming with malevolent delight. He moved with an eerie grace, his every step calculated. The confrontation was brutal and intense. Collins fought with every ounce of strength he had, but the Whisperer was relentless, his desire to kill driving him to near superhuman feats. Just as it seemed all hope was lost, a shot rang out. Deputy Sarah Blake, Collins' most trusted officer, had arrived in the nick of time. The bullet struck the Whisperer, and he collapsed to the ground, a twisted smile still etched on his face. The town slowly began to heal, but the scars left by the Whisperer would never fully fade. The cabin and the lair were destroyed, erasing the physical remnants of his reign of terror. Sheriff Collins and Deputy Blake were hailed as heroes, but they knew the psychological toll would haunt them forever. The Whisperer's final words echoed in Collins' mind, "You can never truly silence the whispers of the abyss." The town's nights remained eerily quiet, but every now and then, on the wind, a faint whisper could still be heard, a chilling reminder that true evil never really dies. Months had passed since the Whisperer's reign of terror ended, but the town of Blackwood had never truly recovered. The scars ran deep, and the whispers of the abyss seemed to haunt every shadowed corner. Sheriff Mark Collins and Deputy Sarah Blake, now hailed as heroes, tried to move on, but the nightmares remained. One stormy night, the wind howled through the town, and the air crackled with an unsettling energy. As lightning illuminated the sky, a chilling discovery was made. The grave of the Whisperer had been dug up, and his body was gone. Panic spread like wildfire. The Whisperer was back, or worse, someone else had taken up his mantle. A new wave of terror began almost immediately. The first victim, a local grocer named Tom, was found in his store, his body arranged in a grotesque display reminiscent of the Whisperer's signature style. The message left behind was clear: the horror was far from over. Sheriff Collins and Deputy Blake dove into the investigation, realizing they were dealing with a copycat killer, someone who idolized the Whisperer and sought to continue his legacy of death. The town was plunged back into fear, and the race to stop the new killer began. The copycat, who became known as the Echo, was more brutal and unpredictable than the Whisperer. He left cryptic clues at each crime scene, leading Collins and Blake on a twisted chase through the dark underbelly of Blackwood. The Echo reveled in the chaos he caused, his murders growing more frequent and savage. The authorities discovered that the Echo was someone from the town, someone who had been influenced by the Whisperer's dark legacy. Paranoia gripped the community as neighbors turned on each other, suspicion and fear clouding their judgment. Collins and Blake devised a plan to draw the Echo out. They staged a fake crime scene, spreading false information about a key piece of evidence being found. The Echo, driven by his need for attention and recognition, took the bait. As the trap was set in motion, the tension in the air was palpable. Collins and Blake, along with a team of specially trained officers, waited in the shadows. Hours ticked by, the silence broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves. Then, a figure emerged, moving with a sinister grace towards the bait. The Echo walked into the trap, but as they moved to apprehend him, he proved to be a formidable foe. A fierce and brutal battle erupted, the forest echoing with the sounds of struggle. Collins and Blake fought with everything they had, but the Echo was relentless, fueled by his twisted obsession. In the midst of the chaos, the Echo managed to escape, disappearing into the night. They knew this was far from over. The Echo would strike again, and they needed to end it once and for all. The showdown came in an abandoned factory on the outskirts of town. The Echo had lured Collins and Blake there, setting up a deadly game of cat and mouse. The factory was a labyrinth of rusted machinery and dark corridors, each turn a potential trap. The confrontation was brutal and unrelenting. The Echo had planned every detail, turning the factory into a house of horrors. Collins and Blake fought their way through, determined to put an end to the nightmare. In the final, heart-pounding moments, they cornered the Echo. A fierce battle ensued, both sides pushing to their limits. Just when it seemed the echo would prevail, Blake managed to land a critical blow. The echo staggered, his mask falling away to reveal the face of a local man, someone they had never suspected. With his last breath, the echo whispered a chilling promise: the abyss never ends. There will always be whispers. Though the killers were gone, the whispers of the abyss remained a part of Blackwood's dark history. The townsfolk learned to live with the shadows, knowing that true evil never really dies, it only waits, patient and silent, in the darkness. And so, the legend of the Whisperer and the Echo became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the thin line between sanity and madness, and the horrors that lurk just beyond the veil of the ordinary. Like, subscribe and share for more interesting stories.